Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur back again, and today I want to talk about the newest wrinkle in the coronavirus saga to develop. It was only a matter of time before it happened. We've seen it maybe before in small pieces, but it's starting to get a little bit bigger. It seems now is the rise of the counter quarantine protesters. Right, so it's been what, 3 weeks, maybe almost a month of quarantining. It's hey, it's 4:20 as I record this right now. Go figure. And we've probably been doing this social lockdown for maybe about a month or getting close to. And you are starting now to see a lot of protesters, I guess, deny those stay-at-home, shelter-in-place orders, exercise their right to assemble, and go out. And not only just you had people before running around doing things, especially here in Arizona, which is where failed entrepreneur is located, right? So it's beautiful springtime weather right now. It's perfect. Spring training should be just about ending, and actually no, it would have ended a while ago, but it's beautiful outside, and there are people out quite a bit. People hiking a lot, going to parks. Not as big as it used to be, but it doesn't look very different here. Still cars on the road. It's kind of jokingly, it's kind of like summer came early, right? Because when it gets really hot over here, people don't really go outside for any reason. They tend to stay in place. You got a couple people here and there. It's kind of what it's like now, right? You kind of got your summer density, a little bit less, but I mean, there's still people, a couple people here and there that are going outside. Like you might see during the hot summer months where it can get to be like 118, 119 degrees, super hot. But it's not, we haven't had the total shutdown here. We haven't been hit as hard by coronavirus as other places. But over this weekend, you saw places like Colorado, California, Washington, and others, like legit kind of like organized protesters assembling in front of the state capitol, right, to vent and I guess voice their anger at the stay-at-home quarantining order they've been doing here. It's a sticky, tricky situation. You could see it was going to happen sooner or later. The question just becomes, how prevalent do these get? How big do these protests get? And how does the government, I guess, respond to them? Again, this is kind of new. You really have never had society on lockdown in such large nationwide as you do now. So ordering people to stay at home, is that even constitutional? Can you even do that? Pandemic or no pandemic, can you force people? And again, they're not forcing, but strongly advising that you do. But the shutting down of the businesses and just I keep saying it, the economic blitzkrieg this is doing, see previous video on economic blitzkrieg, it's doing on the economy is hurting a lot of people. We can't do this forever. This is kind of insanity. We got to open up businesses. We got to go to work. We need to get out. We need to go and, go shopping. It's good for the economy, right? We need to get out. Hell, people just maybe need to go get a drink. Who knows? But you can't keep doing this forever. And you got people saying, not calling this a hoax so much, but that the response has been overblown, right? That the cure is worse than the disease, and the toll this economic shutdown blitzkrieg is having is far worse, that's what these protesters would argue, than the risk of going outside and going back to life as normal, right? And again, it's hard, I could see both sides, right? Where does this come from? There's just so much disinformation. I don't want to say fake news, but there's just so much conflicting news about coronavirus out there that it's hard to tell what's true and what's not. Do you see what I'm saying? I had a conversation with someone the other day, and she was going off and off and off and off on all these different stories of coronavirus she's heard, right? From her doctor told her and stuff like this. But it's just like, tell me something I haven't heard before, right? I mean, with social media and the internet now, everyone is probably overeducated, and everyone just staying at home, nothing to do. Everyone's probably overeducated. Everyone's an armchair doctor now, and everyone has their own idea and theories on coronavirus. Again, see my previous videos. I am the perfect example of this with what I think is going on and how I digest information. And some days I'm like, maybe it is overblown. And then other days it's like, ooh, it's pretty dangerous. I ain't going outside, right? So you can't blame these people for wanting to go out and, again, exercise their right to assemble when you could say that they could be correct, right? Maybe the response is overblown, and maybe it's already pretty prevalent in society, and maybe you've already had it before, and maybe it's not as deadly as the news or reports is making out. I can see and argue all that stuff, and if that's true, yeah, we need to get back out and back to normal. You have a lot of experts, but more and more people are coming out and saying, this isn't working. This isn't going to be effective. Flattening the curve doesn't get rid of the curve. And we just need to, the quickest way is just to burn this thing out, right? Expose as many people. It's like chickenpox, right? And hey, I even made this argument before this all began, right? Some coworkers at work, and I was Chicken Little at the time, saying the sky is falling, coronavirus is coming on, everybody, we gotta get ready. But then it's just like, you know what? Nothing we can do to stop it. It's already here. We just need to get, when you get sick, chickenpox, you get all the kids together, you gotta have like a sleepover party, you get them all infected quick and just get it done. And some people are saying that it's not a popular thing to say, but maybe that's what we need to do, right? The herd immunity is what they call it, right? Just everyone get out there, get sick or not, and then we'll deal with the fallout, right? And people get upset. You're gonna put other people at risk. You're gonna overstress the hospitals and medical staff, and you're playing with fire, and I see all those points too. This is a weird situation because not only is it new on such a large scale like this, but you have, again, back in the past, if this would have happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it'd be much easier with the lack of free information to have a kind of government narrative and the official facts on what coronavirus is and how it affects you. And well, that's all we're being told, so we'd have to probably agree. But again, now there's just so much for and against the deadliness, for and against herd immunity, for and against quarantining, and it's just rough. It makes it hard, and you can see the government is struggling to get its message across because a lot of people, it conflicts with a lot of other stuff out there, and it seems like they don't even know what's going on because it is a very influx situation. Things do seem to change. When they're studying, they learn things new about the virus kind of all the time. I put a video out the other day. Stanford University did a research project, science experiment, there we go, and they found out that actually it's a good chance coronavirus has been here for a long time, and that a lot of people have already been exposed to it because they found a lot of antibodies in people's systems who didn't even know they were sick in the first place. So it's just so much conflicting information, so much changing information. The point is, the people that think it's okay to go out, it makes sense from that point of view if you don't think it's very deadly, if you think the response is way overblown, and if you think we need to get back to business as normal. They kind of have a point. They're kind of small. Again, these protests, it seems like it's a lot of the right-wing crowd, because I was just looking at pictures, a lot of flags, and it looked almost like a Trump rally. But these are people wanting to, again, open their cities up, open their lives back up to normal. And we'll see if this spreads. I don't know. Man, I don't know. It seems dangerous. Florida opened up their beaches this weekend, and people poured into those. You have a certain part of society that thinks this is overblown, thinks that the cure is worse than the disease, and just basically chosen to say, ignore this, screw this, and they're going to apparently try and go back to life as normal as best they can. You got the other half that is staying at home. It's too dangerous. Don't want to go out, even want to go to the grocery store. And, they have a point too. It's really just kind of, where do you stand, right? What do you think is going on here? Do you think it's overblown? Do you think it's serious? And obviously, depending on your mentality, the response that's needed is going to affect your decisions and behaviors. But there's a definite split. And as time goes on, as we stay are we going to stay shut down into May? There's a lot of pressure to get things back open now. The longer this goes on, the more and more people you're going to see resisting, the more friction you're going to have, and that could get a little ugly, right? That could not be a good thing. Or if these protesters are wrong, then they all be getting sick, and then I guess maybe the problem takes care of itself. I don't know. We will see, but keep an eye on it. Hopefully things don't get too crazy. Again, they have a right to protest, I guess, but in time of pandemic, is that the smart play? Is that the right thing to do? Can't keep the economy shut down forever, but it's kind of Goldilocks, right? Porridge too hot, porridge too cold. It's really hard to find that middle ground right now, when everything is just kind of scary and kind of taken to the extreme that we see now, shutting down schools, shutting down sports, shutting down businesses and movie theaters, and it's still hard to wrap my head around. So we will see. Keep an eye on this, and like I said, this can't last forever, but could last a long time. So we'll see how things go. Anyway, my thoughts and how information is affecting all of this. But anyway, I don't know, leave a comment below. What do you think? Smash that subscribe button is what you're supposed to say. Whatever, I don't care. I got things to do. I got a busy day ahead of me. You do too, I know. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you later. Failed Entrepreneur, out.